This is where our story begins, in the quiet aftermath of chaos, where five seemingly ordinary individuals find themselves at the mercy of something much darker than they anticipated. We are introduced to the protagonist, Bill, a well-dressed, composed man in his early 30s. He is smart, ambitious, and determined, a man who has spent his entire life preparing for this moment. He's waiting for an interview, but this isn't just any job interview. Bill is one of 5 candidates selected for a final round of interviews for a highly coveted position at a mysterious, unnamed corporation. The stakes are high, but the rewards are even higher. The position they are vying for promises wealth, power, and influence beyond their wildest dreams. Each candidate is carefully chosen, each one exceptional in their own right, each with their unique blend of skills and experiences. There's James, a no-nonsense ex-military officer with a keen sense of strategy and leadership. Caitlin, a sharp and resourceful woman who excels in crisis management. Sandra, a highly skilled and intelligent data analyst with a knack for seeing patterns others miss. And Mike, a charismatic and persuasive salesman who can talk his way out of almost anything. As they enter the interview room, the candidates are surprised to find it completely empty, save for a large table in the center and 5 identical chairs positioned around it. A single light bulb hangs from the ceiling, casting long shadows across their faces. The room is unnervingly sterile, devoid of any personal touches or warmth. The tension among the candidates is palpable, each one eyeing the others with a mix of suspicion and curiosity. They've all heard rumors about the company's unorthodox interview process, but nothing could have prepared them for what was to come. Suddenly, the door swings open, and in walks the employer, a cold, calculating man whose piercing gaze makes it clear that he is not to be trifled with. He's the type of person who knows everything about everyone in the room before they even speak a word. His presence commands attention, and the candidates immediately sense that this is someone who plays by his own rules. The employer wastes no time in setting the stage for what will be the most challenging interview of their lives. He explains that only one of them will be offered the job, and to determine who that will be, they must participate in a series of tests. The tests, he cryptically hints, will push them to their limits, forcing them to confront their deepest fears and darkest secrets. The reward, he assures them, is worth the struggle: power, wealth, and influence beyond their wildest dreams. But there's a catch. The interview will last exactly 1 hour, and when the time is up, only one candidate will leave the room alive. The candidates exchange uneasy glances, but before they can react, the door slams shut, locking them inside. The interview has begun. The first test is deceptively simple: survival of the fittest. The employer places a gun on the table and informs them that only one of them can move on to the next round. The atmosphere in the room shifts from tense to hostile as the candidates realize the gravity of the situation. Bill, ever the strategist, tries to reason with the others, proposing that they work together to find a way out. But his suggestion is met with skepticism. James, with his military background, quickly takes charge, asserting his dominance over the others. He's not interested in alliances. He's here to win. The situation quickly escalates as the candidates begin to turn on each other, each one desperate to prove their worth. Mike, with his silver tongue, tries to manipulate the others, playing on their insecurities and fears. Sandra attempts to analyze the situation logically, trying to find a way out that doesn't involve violence. Caitlin, however, is more pragmatic. She knows that in this situation, it's kill or be killed. Tensions reach a boiling point when James grabs the gun, pointing it at the others. For a moment, it seems as though he's going to pull the trigger, but at the last second, he hesitates. This moment of weakness is all the others need. In a flurry of movement, Bill and Caitlin overpower James, disarming him and pinning him to the ground. With the immediate threat neutralized, the candidates are left to ponder their next move. But the reprieve is short-lived. The employer, watching from behind a one-way mirror, intervenes. He congratulates them on their teamwork, but reminds them that this is a competition. There can only be one winner. The next test, he explains, is designed to test their psychological resilience. Each candidate is presented with a file containing their deepest, darkest secret, something they've kept hidden from the world. The employer gives them a choice. They can either reveal their secret to the group or face the consequences. The candidates are visibly shaken by this revelation. Their secrets are more than just embarrassing. They are potentially life-destroying. Bill is the first to open his file, and as he reads the contents, his face goes pale. He quickly shuts the file, unwilling to share its contents with the others. The employer, sensing Bill's reluctance, presses him for an answer. The room falls silent as Bill weighs his options. Finally, he speaks, revealing a secret that shocks the group. Years ago, Bill was involved in a hit-and-run accident that left a young girl dead. He fled the scene, and the crime was never solved. The guilt has haunted him ever since. The revelation changes the dynamic in the room. The other candidates look at Bill with a mix of horror and disgust. But before they can react, the employer turns to the next candidate. One by one, the secrets are revealed, each one more damning than the last. James admits to war crimes committed during his time in the military, crimes that were covered up by his superiors. Sandra reveals that she falsified data in a critical project, leading to the collapse of a major corporation. Mike confesses to a series of cons that ruined countless lives, and Caitlin admits to blackmailing a former boss, leading to his suicide. The room is thick with tension as the candidates are forced to confront the ugliness of their pasts. But the employer is not finished. The final test is the most challenging of all: moral integrity. The candidates are presented with a choice. They can either take the job and live with the consequences of their actions, or they can walk away, knowing that their secrets will be exposed to the world. The employer gives them a few moments to consider their options, but it's clear that this is the ultimate test of character. As the candidates deliberate, the pressure mounts. Each one is forced to weigh the benefits of the job against the cost of their soul. Bill, still reeling from the guilt of his confession, is the first to speak. He refuses to take the job, knowing that he cannot live with the weight of his actions. James, however, is more pragmatic. He's done terrible things in the past, but he's not about to throw away the opportunity of a lifetime. He accepts the job, much to the disgust of the others. Sandra, torn between her desire for redemption and her ambition, ultimately decides to walk away. She knows that she can't undo the damage she's done, but she hopes that by rejecting the job, she can start to make amends. Mike, ever the opportunist, takes the job without a second thought. For him, this is just another con, another chance to climb the ladder of success. That leaves Caitlin, who has been silent throughout the deliberation. She's the most conflicted of them all, torn between her ambition and her conscience. Finally, she makes her decision. She walks away, choosing to live with the consequences of her actions rather than sell her soul for a job. The employer, watching the events unfold, is both impressed and disappointed. He congratulates James and Mike on their success, but warns them that the job will not be easy. The others are free to go, but their secrets will be exposed, and they will have to live with the consequences. As the door opens, the candidates who chose to leave are ushered out into the cold, unforgiving world. The camera lingers on their faces, each one marked by the weight of their decisions. Bill, Sandra, and Caitlin walk away, their futures uncertain, but their consciences intact. James and Mike, on the other hand, are led into another room, where they will begin their new lives as employees of the mysterious corporation. The final scene is a haunting reminder of the cost of ambition. The employer sits alone in the interview room, a satisfied smile on his face. He has found his employees, but at what cost? The camera pans out, revealing the dark, empty room, a symbol of the moral decay that comes with the pursuit of power.